Good morning. Hope y'all are doing well today. We are back with some more Final Fantasy. And we are in the final dungeon of the Chaos Shrine, is what's called, Chaos Shrine. This is the PSP version of the original game, so they've added a bunch of bonus content and whatnot. And we've done some of it, but yesterday I asked the chat to say, hey, do you want to do the rest of the bonus content, or you just want to continue on with the story? And it was agreed to continue on with the story. I kind of feel with the bonus content is it seemed like it was just a way to make the game longer. The bosses in the bonus content are a lot harder than the story bosses, so it does give you a little bit extra challenge if you want. But my main complaint with it is most of the equipment that you get is weaker than what you already have. And so it feels like a waste of time to me. Even if the bosses and the dungeons or whatever are more difficult, the rewards are not satisfying enough to put the time into it, in my opinion. Not to mention that a lot of the weapons that you're getting are for the ninja character, and I don't even have that character in my party, so it doesn't really make sense to do the bonus content. So we're just going to continue on with the story. If we finish the game and we still have plenty of time, probably what we'll do is we'll end the stream, and then in a few minutes I'll restart the stream for Final Fantasy II. I kind of like to separate games sort of like episodes of a show. You wouldn't want to have an episode of Game of Thrones mixed with an episode of The Walking Dead, would you? I mean, it wouldn't make any sense. So we finish the game, I'll end the stream, start it back up with Final Fantasy II. Alright. Okay. Here we are, we're at level 50, except for Rufus, who's still at level 49, but he'd probably be going up here shortly. Yes, one fight and he should be going up a level. Alright, so we entered the Chaos Shrine, and it took us back in time 1,000 years to what the shrine originally looked like, and this is what it originally looks like. So now we're just trying to discover where we need to go. Now we're all at 50. We got downstairs there. We're just kind of checking out the perimeter. I don't want to go downstairs until I've finished checking out this floor. There appears to be a lot of white dragons on this floor. I don't know if that'd work since they're kind of flying. We do Scourge. Banish foes to another dimension. Ah, you missed. You can't squeeze through there. They got that kind of blocked. Got some worms. That might be our only option, is to go down those stairs. That's blocked. That's blocked. I think we're going down the stairs. Hey, cellar door, welcome. Hope you're doing well. All right, we're gonna go down the stairs. Even though these are belated birthday greetings, I wanted to tell you happy birthday. Thank you, Celador. I appreciate it. Yeah, we had a pretty good birthday yesterday. Stream was fun. My wife and I went out to dinner. We went to Olive Garden. Food was great. And she got me this shirt. Let me show it off. If you're a Star Wars fan, it's the Mandalorian holding Baby Yoda. I missed a lot of your Final Fantasy 1 and Fallout streams onto Chaos. That's right. Unfortunately, yeah, we're like towards the end of the Final Fantasy 1 series. But we're going to be starting Final Fantasy 2 here pretty soon. And as far as Fallout goes, I've been streaming Fallout over on Twitch. But I've been having a lot of crashing issues. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to put Fallout on hold until I can get it straightened out. And probably stream something else on Twitch starting next week. I only stream twice a week on Twitch. And I'm here on YouTube 4 times a week. But I'm probably going to play something until I can get Fallout working. Because it's just no fun with it constantly crashing. But I can try to do better about uploading Fallout gameplay here on YouTube. Yep, Black Wizard's at 51. Alright, we went in this door, and I don't really see anything in this room. It's a big room, but there's really nothing here. Decorations that don't do nothing. In one of your Final Fantasy 1 streams, I specifically told you that the additional dungeons are nightmares. I even told you about me surviving Omega Weapon in Shinryu in the... Yes! Yes! We went up against Omega Weapon in Shinryu and we got our butts kicked. We lasted longer with Omega, though. I'm not even sure we lasted a minute with Shinryu. we're gonna need to heal. In terms of difficulty, I haven't seen many differences between Game Boy Advance and PSP. Company probably kept everything exactly the same, probably. Probably the main difference between the two is bigger screen. Alright, looks like we're gonna go upstairs. Alright, let's try this way. Another stairs. Looks like we're gonna go upstairs again. I really recommend that you level your group up. Shinryu and Omega are just the beginning. You haven't even visited. Yes, and Whisperwind Cove has bosses from Final Fantasy VI. Death Gaze is exactly what his name implies, death, yeah. Which is funny because we were leveled up when we streamed Final Fantasy VI. We were so leveled up that it was a piece of cake. Most of the bosses were. Death Gaze in Final Fantasy VI, you have to fight him more than once. You'll fight him and then he'll run away, and then you have to run into him again. We didn't even give him a chance to run away. We killed him in the first battle. I'll have to watch your VODs of Final Fantasy VI and the other ones. Yeah, feel free. Forward to watch Final Fantasy II. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see how we do when we, how long it takes me to finish this. Oh, we got even more of them now. coast. Getting all this money that we're possibly not ever going to need. Well, I guess I really didn't need this spell, but it is what it is. In one of your Final Fantasy streams, I mentioned that it's okay if you want to skip the additional dungeons after you met overpowered bosses like Shinryu and Omega. You understood why I said that, yeah. Well, the best part is we'll eventually get to fight them again in the actual game that they came from. If you decide to make another stream of Final Fantasy 1 in the future, I'll watch you visit Live Spring Grotto and Whisperwind Cove again. Because I believe Omega and Shinryu are from Final Fantasy 5, I think. That was a fake out. Did you at least take a few steps into Whisperwind Cove? Never even went into Whisperwind Cove. I asked the chat, I said, do you want me to continue with the bonus dungeon or move on with the story? And chat said, move on with the story. We did come in, when we first came into the Chaos Shrine, we did, there's a bonus dungeon here too that has to do with time and whatnot. Now that is a pain in the butt. We chose not to go there. You really do start Final Fantasy 2 on PSP today. Remember that your group's white magic statistics go up much better during battles. That is to say, try to only heal your group during battles themselves. Yeah, I remember when I played it long ago, there was a little adjustment needed because the battle system was different. Your stats change according to how you fight. Stairs, stairs. Where are the stairs? Those are the stairs we came from. Go down here. If your group is injured and hurt, it's better to heal them up inside of battles. If you use healing spells outside of battles, the white magic statistics don't go up. Keep in mind that all the Final Fantasy II things I mentioned are from Game Boy Advance. I don't know if PSP versions changed things or not. I don't think that they did. I know I played it on PlayStation, the PlayStation 1 version, and it wasn't different. It was the same. Game Boy Advance experience of Final Fantasy II is awesome, and I'm also looking forward to playing Final Fantasy 1, 2, 4, and after years. 4 is my favorite, will always be my favorite. After years was okay, but once again, they were wanting to try something different. When After Years originally came out, it came out on Nintendo. I think it was Wii. And you had to buy the individual chapters. So each character had their own chapters. And you had to buy each individual one. And that was kind of annoying for me. And then they changed things with the whole moon phase thing. How you fight depends on the phase of the moon and whatnot. I liked it, but I didn't like it as much as the first Final Fantasy IV. Hey Valerian, Zeno, welcome. Hope y'all are doing well. I'm just trying to find my stairs. They're here somewhere. Nine enemies, yep. And they're all toast. They are easy now. Alright, let's see. No stairs there. These are a little bit tougher. Of course, there's still no match for the monk and the warrior, for the master and the knight. Plan to make a game like this. Yeah? We need some more old school turn-based RPGs. I found a few on PlayStation. I have a PlayStation 4. And there's a company called Chemco, and they make some old-style turn-based. Graphics aren't quite as good as like this is, but it's I'm assuming it's sort of like an indie kind of thing. I'll share it to you if I make one. Okay. I'll be glad to try it out for you. There's heal everybody. Yeah, I'm currently playing one on PlayStation 4 called Remnant Saga. And it's okay. I mean, it's not a Final Fantasy, you know, mind you. But it's not bad for what it is. Door! I found a door! At least it's RPG. Yeah, exactly. It seems like a lot of RPGs nowadays are going to action. I guess people are not as big on the, you know, choosing commands and whatnot. That eye is ugly, ain't he? Got his eye on us. Alright, so we picked up an ether and an elixir. Now we gotta read this tablet. PlayStation 1 version of Final Fantasy 2 is the same as Game Boy Advance. When I played the Game Boy Advance version of 2, I noticed that there's at least one difference. Yeah, what was the difference? Finally get to play the lute. One born from a dragon and blah. Now we're on floor 2. Which way do we want to go? Yes, which way? Now there's doors. Looks just like the floor above, but there's rooms with doors. PlayStation 1 version calls the group Furion, Gus, Maria, and Leon. Game Boy Advance calls the group Furion, Guy, Maria, and Leon. So it changes Gus and Guy. It's one letter difference. That happens all the time with different translations and whatnot. I think we already had the power staff. You know, like, for example, Final Fantasy VII. When it came out, they called her Eris. But the Japanese version calls her Aerith. And I think Sephiroth's name was different too. I think it was originally supposed to be Sephiros or something like that. Final Fantasy VII Remake rectified those errors. Aerith is called Aerith, like she was always supposed to be. Yeah, I played a little bit of the remake, but I hadn't finished it yet. Just another one I have to get back to. But even they made that a little bit more action-oriented. But the graphics are pretty nice. I honestly wonder if they'll ever finish the remake, because they're kind of doing that in chapters too. To my understanding, the first game is pretty much covering Midgar, and so they're going to do it in sections. Now, with Final Fantasy VII, the original was I think it was 3 discs long. Can you imagine how many remake games they're going to have? Look at it this way. You know that Aerith is an environmentalist, or correct. Aerith's name sounds like Earth. That's why the correct spelling of her name is Aerith. Aerith cares about Earth, see? Yeah. And Final Fantasy VI, Terra. You know, well, she starts out as the main character, and she's half Esper, half human. And her name is Terra, which is the other name of Earth. PlayStation 1 version of Final Fantasy VII had 3 discs, yeah. Final Fantasy VIII, I think, had 4 discs. 7 was 3 and 8 was 4. If my memory is correct. But yeah, I mean, if there's 3 discs for Final Fantasy VII, and they're like splitting it in sections, each game is one, section, that's going to be a lot of remake. As much as I hate to say it, I don't think they'll ever finish it, because it's going to be too long, and it's eventually just kind of probably fizz out. Much as I hate to say it, but because I don't like things ever being left undone. It annoys me whenever they do stuff like that. More ways to take your money, yeah, pretty much. Like, if you're playing any kind of multiplayer game nowadays that always has microtransactions. Those things are so annoying because most of the time the stuff that they're selling is pointless. It's usually cosmetics and it doesn't really help you in the game at all. So it's like, why am I wasting my money on garbage? Yeah, they need more ways to take your money. Which one? The PlayStation 1 version, the 7 or 7 remake? All of them. They ruined the story. They do a lot of remakes and reboots and whatnot. Not just in video games, but you know, TV series, movies. I recently was on YouTube this morning, and apparently they're doing a reboot for True Lies. If you're familiar with that movie starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis, apparently they're doing a reboot of that. I'm like, why? Leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Like, people can't come up with new ideas. Let's see. How did they ruin the story? P2W worthless, then my insurance. Pay to win, yeah. They killed Aerith halfway through in the game with Phoenix down and live magic. No permadeath on main characters, otherwise story ruined. Yeah, if you want to look at it logical, yeah. But you know, they also, if you think about it though, when you die in the game, you're not really dead. In some of the Final Fantasies, they considered you knocked down, but not technically dead. Although that doesn't really fit with the whole life magic and whatnot, but they consider you knocked down. So when you die playing the game, you're just knocked down and then you get up where you saved it. Whereas Aerith actually died. But her whole point was she was supposed to sacrifice her life, and that's how the holy materia came into effect at the end of the game. Can't logic me out of this one. One of the writers had a personal tragedy and ruined the game in production. Back on topic, I love the additional dungeons in this. The company added dungeons that are more difficult than chaos in the actual game itself. They did. I hate the most of it. This is just a way to make you waste more time. I agree with both of you. And Valerian, he's a very big nostalgic person. He likes the old school stuff. And I kind of like a little bit of both, you know, depending on the mood I'm in. I don't mind the bonus content. I don't mind, you know, the stronger bosses in the bonus content. I don't have too much of a problem with that. I mean, it's a little frustrating. You got to level yourself up to fight them or whatever, or change your way of fighting them. My biggest complaint with the bonus content is I don't really the new weapons and armor that you get that I was getting in the ones that I did do were worthless. And you know, it's like I spent all this time going into this dungeon. Okay, so you go in the dungeon, you got several floors of dungeon, you fight the boss. Okay, you beat the boss. Then you have to leave the dungeon, you warp out of the dungeon, then you have to go back in the dungeon again and go through all the floors again to get to the next boss and repeat until you finish all the bosses. That's annoying. That is a waste of time for me. Just let me keep going through and go from boss to boss to boss, like you would any normal dungeon. But taking all that time and effort to defeat the boss and then to get a weapon that either I already have or is weaker than what I already have, it kind of frustrates me. It's because it's like, why did I do this other than just the satisfaction of killing the boss? Now, the one thing that I do like about the bosses is the fact that they did come from the other Final Fantasy game. That's kind of neat. I kind of like that. Let's see. I had 2 original Nintendo carts of Final Fantasy. I respectfully disagree with your opinion. The bonus content is reminiscent of what they did in 7 in Final Fantasy 7, Emerald Weapon and Ruby Weapon are more difficult than Sephiroth himself. I also didn't enjoy the bonus bosses in 7, nor anything else on Disc 3. IMO, the bonus content in this, the tribute or callback to that. Yeah, you know, they redid, this is the first game though, but they're doing a tribute to future games. Whereas the future games probably should have did a tribute to this game. But yeah, they did do that. And then the weapons in Final Fantasy 7 were pretty tough. I'm thinking Ruby for me was probably, the Ruby weapon was probably the most difficult for me. Sephiroth wasn't too bad. You just keep using Knights of the Round and Omni Slash as much as possible. And then you're going to have to do a lot of healing when he does Supernova on you. I did beat 7 once. Calling back to all the other games in the original game takes away from the original game to me. So we'll agree to a disagree. And that's kind of the whole remake, reboot kind of thing. Obviously, the original doesn't usually have bonus content. And then when they do a remake, they usually add the bonus content for that reason. But it's bonus, optional. You don't necessarily have to do it if you don't want to. You can complete the storyline and boom, you're good to go. Or you can just play the original and completely ignore the remake. I understand they wanted to bring the new players into the old game, and that's how they did it. You newbies like that grindy crap. You'll be able to tell me about this. Wasn't Gilgamesh a boss in Final Fantasy 12? And wasn't Gilgamesh even more difficult than the final boss himself? I sort of remember something like that. I haven't finished 12. I've only played a little bit of 12. Gilgamesh was originally in Final Fantasy 5. Which, that particular dungeon that he was in, all the bosses are from Final Fantasy 5. And he wasn't really that tough of a boss in Final Fantasy V. He was kind of a comedy character, really. Yeah, Gilgamesh wasn't really a big boss in Final Fantasy V. The final boss in 5 was X-Death, I think his name was. And then I think Omega was a optional extra boss at the end. Is he also in 12? He very well might be. I just haven't really played 12. The series went downhill at 11. Yeah, the multiplayer. I haven't played 11. I have played 14, and 14's okay, but the issue you got with 14 is it's multiplayer, obviously. You're playing with other people. But it takes up a lot of time. If you go into a dungeon, you need to at least plan a minimum of an hour. Unless you're over-leveled, and then you can blast through it. Because some people do that to level up or whatever. But if you're doing it the story way, it's going to take you at least an hour to complete. 11 is that still has a considerable amount of fans and players to this day. I just never tried 11, and I'm currently paying for 14, so I don't really want to pay any more subscription fees for online games. Played 11 for a month. I was rich at the time, so I bought enough gil to get my airship ticket. Realized there was no solo content, and I couldn't speak Japanese, so I left it behind. Yeah, 14's also an MMO and still has a considerable amount of players. Yeah, a lot of people are still playing 14. I beta tested 14, honestly. Me and my sister, we beta tested 14, and I like 14. It's just very time consuming. 14 isn't too bad. I played it longer than 11. I think 14 was a way, you know, they took 11 and they wanted to improve on it, I think. and that's where 14 came from. My wife was endgame in it for a while. I am really bad about MMOs. I'll play them, but then I'll end up stop playing them and playing something else, just simply because they are time consuming. And because it's an online game, you can't just save and go do something and come back kind of thing. You have to devote a certain amount of time to the game. I'm still haven't finished the first story part of 14, and there's been like several. I mean, I got all the added DLCs, whatever you want to call them. I got a bunch of them, but I still haven't finished the first one yet, just simply because it takes a long time. If I stream 3 hours a day, it's hard to invest an hour just for one dungeon. Let's see. I judge MMOs differently than single players, yeah. Rufus, I'll never ask you to pay even more subscription fees. After all, you have children, yeah. MMOs are a job, sometimes literally, yeah. MMO, RPGs, and every type of MMOs are hilarious to me. You don't think MMOs are a job, play EVE Online. I've actually looked at EVE Online at one point, and I never, bought it or anything. Okay, yeah. But I've got several MMOs. I got 14. I've got Elder Scrolls Online. I got Fallout 76, which I'm paying a subscription for Fallout first, which is very necessary, in my opinion, for Fallout 76, because the survival tent is very beneficial, especially when you're getting materials and whatnot, and you get overweight. You can put it in your scrap box. It also gives you a place to rest pretty much anywhere. And then you also have the option to have private server. So if people are being a bunch of butts, or you're having performance issues, you'll get slightly better performance on that private server, and you can still play with up to 8 friends. I never bought it either. I did play it for 3 years, up to 7 accounts at one time, and never once paid for it. Let's see, it was 8+ hours a day of work to pay for the accounts by mining, yeah. Let's see, I also played Star Wars The Old Republic. I got New World, which is a relatively new one, and Lost Ark. I got a bunch of them, and several of them are free to play. It's just you're putting so much time into it. And if you watch people streaming it, that's all they play. Every day they play the same game over and over. They stream the same game over and over. And that's fine if you're happy with that. It's your game, it's your stream. But for me, I would get bored after a while doing the same game every single day. Which is why I try to be a variety streamer. Because I do also play according to what I'm in the mood to play. If I'm not in the mood to play it, then I'm probably not going to play it. Whereas there's some streamers, their channel is grown up on one game, and they're scared to death that if they stop playing that game, they're going to lose all their viewers and all their funding. And my attitude on that is, it's very simple. Are your followers actually following you or the game that you're playing? Are they there for you, or are they there for the game? I don't really want my followers to be there just for the game. Yes, obviously, everybody has their interests. They like this game, they might not like that game. I understand that completely. You shouldn't have to watch what you don't want to watch. I understand that. But as a streamer, you should follow the streamer for the streamer, not for the game, because there's so many other streamers playing the same exact game. So why are you following that specific streamer? You know what I mean? Lord of the Rings Online. Yeah, I played that some. And if you make it a job, you can even unlock all the content by questing. I prefer variety as long as the streamer isn't mad when I don't tune in on things I don't enjoy. Yeah, and I completely understand that. And I'm sure there's going to be some games that I'm going to stream that you're probably not going to be any interested in, and that's perfectly fine. You know, as long as you pop your head in once in a while, say, hey, how you doing? You know? The same thing, you know, if I'm making a movie, and let's say I made an action movie and you like action movies, so you watch that movie. Then I make a horror movie and you don't like horror movies. I don't expect you to watch it. Oh, do that. Usually I'll give you a reason, like this game makes me motion sick, or the music in the game gives me a headache. Yeah, and there are games out there that would do that. And another thing, and I don't mean any offense to anybody, I greatly appreciate everybody who follows, or, you know, YouTube's case, subscribes. I appreciate everybody. So please don't get me wrong. But the other thing that just kind of comes into mind is, I'll use me as an example. Right now I have like 140 subscribers. But how many people actually follow me? Right now there's 2 or 3 of you I know right now that are watching because you're chatting with me. I don't know, there's probably some other people that are watching that, you know, don't want to chat, they're just lurking, and that's fine. But it's like, how many followers are actually following me, and how many just one day hit the follow button and then I never see them again? You know what I mean? There's some people they'll follow you, just try to help you with your numbers, and I appreciate that. But it'd be nice to see more names that are on my 140 followers. Matter of fact, YouTube gives you your analytics, your statistics and whatnot. And there's a section that tells you what percentage of viewers are your subscribers and what are not your subscribers. And usually when I look at it, it's between 80 and 90% are not subscribed. So I have more unsubscribed viewers watching than I do subscribers. You're asking the wrong question. The question is, how many of your subscribers depend on YouTube's recommendations, and how many actually go through their subscription feed and never touch the Rex? I haven't looked at the front page of YouTube in years. Yeah, that's true. I sometimes will click the YouTube icon at the top and see what's there. But yeah, I mean, some people, they don't pay attention to recommendations or vice versa. I mean, that's true. Tend to add subscriptions through collaborations, yeah. But I mean, could you imagine? Okay, the lingo is a little bit different between Twitch and YouTube. Twitch, a follower is the same thing as a YouTube subscriber. Then you have on Twitch, you have subscribers that pay you monthly to support you. Okay? And then they're called members on YouTube. But could you imagine if 140 subscribers were actually paying you to support you, but 80 to 90% of them never watch you? That would be kind of a waste of money, wouldn't it? I don't know. I just... and I know I'm not the only one, because there's a guy that does streams and videos and whatnot of how to improve your streams and plugins and stuff you can add to OBS and whatnot. And several times he'll open up, you know, hey, I checked my analytics, 80% of you are non-subscribers. Am I doing something wrong? You know, let me know in the comments. You know, trying to get more subscribers to be more active. It seems like sometimes you get more unsubscribed active in your stream than you do subscribers sometimes, I guess. But I also understand, you know, like in my case, I'm not the only streamer out there. There is tons of streamers out there. So you might not feel like watching Final Fantasy today. You might want to watch something else. And so you're going to go watch another streamer. I mean, I understand that completely. You know, there's a lot of competition and nobody's out there to steal viewers or anything. I'm not saying that. But, you know, regardless if you mean to be competition, you're still competition, you know? There have been a few of my subscriptions complaining about the algorithm telling their subscribers to use the subscriptions feed and not rely on the bell. Yeah. Yeah, there's usually a common script that streamers will say on their videos or on their live streams. Hey, if you enjoyed, please hit that subscribe button, and please don't forget to hit the bell. It'll notify you whenever I'm going live. And don't forget to give me a like. And so it's my understanding that the like button is supposed to help YouTube decide to show your content more to more people, or to recommend you more, is my understanding. So the streamers are trying to get people to like the video so that YouTube will say, hey, this might be a good video to show to everybody else. Honestly, my opinion, and this is coming from a small streamer, I think the like and dislike buttons should just be eradicated, just disappear. And I feel that YouTube should support all the streamers, small and big, without a like and dislike button, is the way I feel. And in some cases, I kind of feel that smaller streamers need a little bit more support than big streamers do. Likes are one way. They just want interaction, comments, and chat when live help too. The intentions of the like button are good. Don't get me wrong. It does add interaction. It does show, you know, hey, I like this video. I understand that. But then you also got trolls out there. They didn't even watch your video and they're going to give you a dislike or a bad comment. I don't use the like button. I won't lie. Yeah. I have another account here on YouTube. It's a martial art account because I do martial arts, and I got a few videos on there. But I always turn the comment section off, because if you look at any martial art video here on YouTube, you get what they refer to as keyboard warriors. They always come in and they troll, and they're like, oh, you suck, I can do it way better than you, and you're not doing it right, and that's not actually going to work out on the street, and blah, blah, blah. And then as soon as, you know, you reply and be like, hey, well, let's see your video, they usually don't respond. They just disappear. So that's kind of the issue that you do have with the whole like, dislike, and comment thing. Although I do definitely agree that it's good to have communication with your followers and people who are watching. But you are always going to have that issue with bad people. Well, that's true too. And I'm pretty sure it's still that way. And it might be why I don't have as many people in the chat. It's because I set the chat to subscribers only. Likewise on Twitch to followers only. Because I kept getting bots in my chat and I kept getting trolls in my chat. And it got annoying. And so I figured the best way to deal with it is to make people have to subscribe or follow me to try to keep the negative out of the chat. And it's actually been working. I'm either getting nobody in chat or I'm getting, like several of you here that's been chatting today, positive. I haven't really had any bots or trolls. So there's that. A lich! Holy shit, it's a lich! Chat has been great. Chat has been great. I'm really appreciating all the conversations. I'm having a good time. Besides just playing the game. Alright, we're gonna do a heal all kind of thing. And he's a lich, so we're gonna use Firaga on him. Alright, we need to boost their attacks. I'm assuming he's like a mini boss guarding the stairs. Yeah, Final Dungeon has all 4 elements again in order, and they're just as easy as before. Alright, let's go back to the giant gauntlet thing. Boom. We'll have him attack. He can cast this thing. He can cast haste. Get him to use the gauntlet. He can use this thing again. He can use haste. There we go. "28 hits, holy moly, 28 hits. Oh, he rocking the flare. We might need to heal after this. Yeah, we're gonna heal after this. Never mind, we're still gonna heal. Yeah, I think that 28 hits did him in. 1 gil. We're at level 55 and 54. Yep, just as easy. Okay, there's the stairs over there. Which way do we go to get to them? Lava worms. Well, if they're lava, we should pull them down, right? If you always go the longest way, you'll usually get there faster. Yeah, you gotta know which way is the longer way, up or down. I don't know if I can go in between there or not. So we see how hard Blizzard will hit him for? Level 1 spell or level 2 spell? That's not bad. My fan turned off. So, a while back, several years ago, I got this fan. It's a really nice fan. It's got several different speed modes, and it came with a remote. And the remote, you can set a timer on it. Problem is, I don't know where the remote is. We lost it years ago. And the fan will shut itself off after a period of time. And I don't know how to stop it. So it turns off, and then I have to get up and turn it back on. I don't think you can go in between there. Nope. Huh. We found a door. Could be an empty room. If you always go the longest way, you usually get there faster. Also, lots of times, if you go the opposite direction that you think you should go, then it's usually the right one. Why do I have a feeling this room or whatever is empty? Another boss. Farleth. That can hurt a little bit. Just a little bit. Take that. All them swords, we're gonna use Thundaga. Strike the sword. Or die! 2 more to go, I believe. Yeah, all those lightning rods. No way she'd survive that. Yeah, I didn't even get a chance to cast it. Let's see. Let's do Thundara. Save some magic. It might be strong enough. Find out. Yep. That was the trick to fighting Odin, was to use lightning. Tablets we can't read. So our next little boss we're going to fight is going to be the Kraken, I'm sure. The order you fought them in, for one, but you can also tell by the enemies that you're fighting now. Wondering if I went in a circle. All the rewards and the additional dungeons are completely useless to me. I respectfully disagree with your opinion. Whenever I play this, I always use weapons as items that can, be used over and over again. Yeah. Thor's hammer casts Gundago when used as an item. Okay, yeah. That would be useful, definitely. Because it doesn't take any magic. Where some of them are more useful than others. Like when I was reading the strategy on some of those bonus bosses, they said to use the rune staff to heal with. I don't have the rune staff, so I'm not sure where you get it from, but I don't have it at the moment. And that would definitely be an alternate way of healing if you only have one designated healer. And that's kind of the pro of using a red mage, although he can't learn the maxed level spells. He can have black magic and white magic. Yeah, I went the wrong way. Okay, so but yeah, I mean, she can use Thor's hammer. You can do that. Best party ever. 4 black belts. Yeah. Definitely use a lot of items. The items don't hit as hard as the spells do. Four white mages was more survivable, but not much. Kicked more butt. As long as Thor's hammer never uses magic. Exactly. Thor's hammer never needs any magic. No, it doesn't, but it hit like 100 points less than the spell did. Okay, we went in there, and that took us over here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We need to heal Rufus. Leave him alone, you ass! It doesn't need magic, but also doesn't use the intelligence stat. Ah. They revives one knocked out ally. Doesn't say dead ally. And now find that text in the original. Yeah. That was a translation problem. You won't do it because the only way to bring someone back from the dead was to pray at a temple. Yeah. The only way to save was to stay at the inn. I don't get what you're asking. In the Game Boy Advance version of Final Fantasy I, Thor's Hammer doesn't anything at all. Nothing. It's a free Thundaga. So when you use a weapon that has magic, like Thor's Hammer, for example, it doesn't use any magic points. But as far as the intelligence stats, the higher you're intelligent, the more effective your magic is. Whereas it's free terms of magic, but it does less damage than Thundaga because it doesn't use the user's intelligence stat. Yeah. Not to mention that, at least in this, I'm not sure about the Game Boy Advance version. I think in this version, it casts Thundara in this version. It doesn't cast Thundaga, or Lightning 3, or Thunder 3. It casts Lightning 2. Yeah, they might have done Game Boy Advance a little different. But if you look at stats, everybody has intelligence. And so Nina's intelligence is 59. So her magic is going to hit harder than the item would, because it doesn't go by intelligence stat. But it does give people like Rufus and Bannon, who don't use magic, the option to use magic. And that's the benefit of using the item, is for your members who don't have any magic abilities to be able to use it. It won't be as strong as your mages, but I mean, that makes perfect sense. They're mages. That's what their experience is in magic. But it might make more sense for Nina to cast the spell Thundara over using the item, because the item doesn't go by her intelligence stat, whereas the spell does. And it's been that way with several of the old Final Fantasies. The magic spell itself will always hit harder than the item usually. But if you can find an enemy that's weak against a certain element, it might not be that big a difference. I could also use Rune Staff as an item, however I never found Rune Staff. That's because you never visited Whisperwind Cove. If your group annihilated the octopus, then the reward is the Rune Staff, yeah. Alright, so I might have to look up a map here. I'm kind of stuck at the moment. Yeah, speaking of the different names in the games, Orthros was actually Ultros in one of the versions of Final Fantasy VI. But that's a simple switch there. Alright, so there's a wall there. This is blocking. I somehow need to get to that door, I believe. Now, I just came from that door there, which led me up above. We go down this way. Maybe I should go in that door up there. When I survived the nightmare that is Whisperwind Cove, one of the wonderful rewards that I received was the rune staff. How did I find rune staff? By murdering, yeah. But like I was looking at the walkthroughs for I can't remember the name, but the water bonus dungeon. One of the things it said to use against the bosses was to have the rune staff to heal with. And kind of my issue with that is that it means you have to go out of order. Okay? You don't unlock the wind bonus thing until you defeat the wind fiend, Tiamat. It makes more sense to complete the water dungeon before you complete the wind dungeon. Then you have to go to the wind dungeon to get the rune staff. Then you go back to the, say, call it OCD. But I'm like, I kind of prefer to do things in a certain order. And their strategy was to do it out of order because you get stronger equipment. Rune staff even sounds like something that's legendary and far away and distant. In those messages up there, Valerian mentioned a game called Lord of the Rings online. Yeah, I played that a little bit. I think Final Fantasy VII, you have a rune sword that Cloud uses. So it could be very well considered that rune could be elven. Maybe I'm supposed to... Ah! I missed the door. Does anybody here think that Bilbo Baggins would have found the Arkenstone on a sidewalk in the Shire, please? So, apparently, speaking of Lord of the Rings, apparently they're coming out with a series. And I think it's supposed to be a prequel to The Hobbit, I believe. Like, it's supposed to be about the time of the rings and before the rings and whatnot, if my memory is correct. Don't watch it. Take this from a Tolkien fan. Yeah, my dad was a Tolkien fan too. He had the books. I grew up on the animated movies. And then they started making live action movies. And the issue with the movies is obviously they only have so much time and money, so they usually leave content out. But I have to say, with the newest movie series, they did add some into it that wasn't normally in it. Like The Hobbit, they had the scene with Bombadil, wasn't it? He could turn into a bear or something like that. It's been a long time. They've used it to drive some woke agendas and ruin the lore. Yeah, that's the issue with movies and TV series. They don't follow the book 100%. And it's to cut costs, but it's also for ratings and stuff like that. And I'm always a firm believer to stick to the story. Even if it means you have to make more movies, spend more money. I didn't watch The Hobbit. The only Hobbit in my memory is the animated feature. He's a merry fellow, bright blue, his breeches are, and his boots are yellow. Yeah, Bombadil, he wasn't in the animated movie. My memory is correct. But he was in the live action movie. because he was fighting something. Hey, there he is. It's the Kraken. Summon the Kraken. I want to heal everybody. Let's see here. He wasn't in the Hobbit book at all. You're right, he was in Lord of the Rings. I'm mixing it up. I'm sorry. Bombadil is a super being that has superpowers. Also, it seems like Tolkien himself always wanted to keep Tom as mysterious as possible. Tom was in Fellowship of the Ring, yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry, I got that mixed up. Ah, he killed Rufus. Attack, magic. Life, magic. Felt bad that they skipped him in the movie, but it's understandable they didn't skip him in the game, and he's pretty married. He was in one of the movies, though. Because he could turn into a bear, right? Or am I thinking of somebody else? Goldberry 2. I read Fellowship of the Ring, Two Towers, Return of the King, and The Hobbit. I still have to read Silmarillion. I tried to read the Silmarillion, but it's hard reading an encyclopedia cover to cover, yeah. I think my dad read it. Damn, he hits hard. Maybe I should have used protect, but it doesn't matter now. He did. It's not light reading, yeah. But it's a huge lore dump, yeah. Now we're gonna fight air. I don't know exactly what's strong against air. Earth, but Quake is an instant kill, it's not a damage. You know, this temple was a lot bigger 1,000 years ago. It sure was. Present time, it's hardly a temple, or shrine, or whatever they want to call it. My estimation, you should be under the Cornelia Castle by now, probably. You said that you're a fan of Tolkien. Do you want to get into something that's really obscure? IMO, it's really obscure. Oh, I hate mind players. Fire? Not really. I'm not a master debater. How is he paralyzed? He's got the ribbon on. That's supposed to prevent status effects. See, I think that takes me back to where I was. This way. Not again. Hey, he ran away. Fellowship of the Ring movie released in 2001. In order to coincide with the movies releasing, they made a Lord of the Ring trading card game. Oh, Lord. Why not? We'll do a Pokemon Lord of the Rings. Or Yu-Gi-Oh! Lord of the Rings. Capitalism, exactly. The root of all evil. We're gonna heal magic here. Lord of the Rings, the pocket watch. Lord of the Rings, the flamethrower. That sounds good. How do you know I was using fire? Y'all cheat. Okay. Okay. Y'all want to be like that, huh? Your lord is dead. Baseballs, yeah. Yeah, Spaceballs was a trip. Instead of Yoda, you had yogurt and the s'mores. It's possible that the actor who portrayed Tom even appeared in deleted scenes for the movie. See, that's the other thing, is they delete scenes, and it's like, why? If you took the time and the money to make the scene, you should keep it there. New subscriber alert? Did I miss a subscriber alert? Ken Ite. I hope I pronounced that right. Thank you for the subscribe. I didn't notice the alert come across the screen. The audio might be quieter than the game. But thanks for the heads up, Valerian. I do see your name under activities, though. I appreciate the subscription. Welcome. We need to heal some magic here. We're getting kind of low. I hope you're enjoying the game. Masamune! We found the Masamune. But I bet you nobody can use it. They all can use it. Look at that. So, I was saying earlier, yesterday, that in the original Final Fantasy, Excalibur, if my memory's correct, the white mage and black mage could both equip Excalibur, and they could also equip Masamune. So I got Excalibur, but only the knight can use Excalibur in this version. But it looks like everybody can use the Masamune. That's the one you may have been thinking of with Excalibur. I thought Excalibur could be used by the White Mage too. Maybe I'm wrong. It's been forever since I played the original. The next question is, who should I give it to? Let's see how it performs before we decide. If I give it to the Master, it raises his attack to 73 and his accuracy to 251. It is also stronger than Excalibur. It about doubles her attack, as well as hers. I don't know where the Lord of the Rings series is playing. I plan on avoiding it like the plague. Amazon, I think. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm thinking it's Amazon. Amazon's starting to do more stuff than just selling junk. Alright, so this is what we're going to do. I'm just kind of curious. I'm going to let every single one of them try the sword. We're going to start off with the Master. Sure, Google can help you find it if you're interested, though. So do I, however, I was just asking a casual question. Yeah. I don't know, I might watch the series. We'll see. Look how much money we got, by the way, guys. We maxed out our money. We can't get any more money. They won't let me have $1 million. All right. Where do we go next? Where was I? He hits hard, but I don't think he's got the same number of hits. My OCD, there were a few enemies I'd always run away from. Anything that could stone or paralyze an instant kill, except the few required fights, thus to keep the same XP on all characters. Rufus Valerian already told you to never watch the Lord of the Rings series. Yeah, I told him my opinion. It wasn't in order. Let's see. Purple worm. See, what I can do is I can watch it, and then when I'm live, I can tell you how awful it was. and then it creates some more content to talk about. I've seen some reviews on it and not good, yeah. Probably what their intention was is to show you some backstory on the characters. Now, whether or not it's actually canon to the stories, I don't know, because I haven't exactly read the books. I might have read a little bit, but I'm not well versed on it. Part of my issue when it comes to reading books is I'm ADHD. And it is hard for me to sit and focus on text. It's like not enough stimulus. Whereas a game or a movie or show, whatever, there's more stimulus for me. It's easier for me to watch a movie than to sit and read the book. The book really has to interest me. It really has to pull me in, and I can't have any distractions. So in other words, I can't be at home. Usually I'll start reading a book at home and I never finish it. I'll not get into it. They're basically saying if Tolkien didn't specify, say something isn't there, we can say it is. Yeah, it's one of those. So, not canon. Alright, we're going to give the Masamune to somebody else. I think he attacks more, has more hits, with the potential of hitting harder without the sword. We're going to keep him with Excalibur. This staff casts Flare when used. Which one of them should I give it to? Wouldn't surprise me if the elves use cell phones. Oh, give me a second. Somebody's knocking. Yeah, they've done stuff like that a lot with other things. Like my understanding, Game of Thrones, they at some point did move away from the actual books and did their own thing, which was kind of silly. They've done the same thing with anime before, where it'll get up to a certain season and then they'll just do their own thing, or they'll add a bunch of filler episodes until more has been made, and it can be kind of annoying. Guys, I'm going to take a little break. I'll be right back. All right, I am back. Now let me catch up on your all's conversations here. Let's see. Valerian said something right. Now that reminded me of the stuff that contradicted Star Wars. Yeah. Of course, with Star Wars is a really big universe. Of course, you know, you got the Skywalker series. You know, it's all about the Skywalkers, the main characters. But then there's also other characters in the universe in history as well. So they could actually make a ton of movies. They can make a ton of shows and whatnot about different characters, different timelines, and all that. And yeah, Disney bought Lucasfilms or Lucas or whatever. I'm still not 100% sure. I like that. I think he probably should have kept it. It was his to begin with. Plus, they had to make a decision what they thought was canon and wasn't canon. And I kind of have issues with that because I'm like, why not make it all canon? You know, if it's you know, the other thing with the Star Wars series though is you got hundreds, thousands of authors writing their own Star Wars books, and you can go to Barnes and Nobles and you can buy the book. It's not just George Lucas anymore. So it's a big universe. Let's see here. All right, don't get me started on Game of Thrones with the Starbucks cup on the table next to the steins. I remember hearing about that. I don't know what episode or season that was on either, but I do remember hearing about the Starbucks cup. It was a basic filming goof. Yeah, it happens. You know, I've heard and seen, you know, like the cameraman or the boom mic guy will have his shadow or part of the mic will be in the scene or whatever. Another common one, or another one that I saw. There was a movie, I think it came out back in the 80s or so, called At Close Range. Now, if you haven't seen At Close Range, I highly recommend it. It's starring a very young Sean Penn, Chris Penn, even younger Chris Penn, and Christopher Walken. And the theme song was written by Madonna. And I think that was right around the time her and Sean Penn probably got married, but it's a really good movie. And there's a scene, it's not meant for kids, okay? Keep that in mind, it's not meant for kids. So Chris Penn and Sean Penn are brothers in the movie. And Christopher Walken plays their father, but he doesn't live with him. Him and the mom didn't, you know, weren't able to make things work. He was really a bad guy. He was a criminal. He was a thief. He would steal cars and farming equipment and whatnot. And so he, at one point, had to kill a snitch. And his son saw it. And the son was getting tired of the father doing bad things and whatnot, and so there was a chance that the son was going to snitch. So the son was trying to get some money to get away. So him and his brother and friends and whatnot decided they were going to steal farming equipment themselves to sell and take the money to get out. Except they got caught. And his father bailed everybody out but him. And what happened is his father and his goons basically killed all his friends, including his brother. And then his girlfriend was going to go visit him in prison, and the father offered to take her because she had no other way of getting there. Except he didn't take her because he didn't want her to influence his son. So instead, he took her to a hotel room and basically raped her as a way of saying, you need to stay away. But in the scene, they go in the room, and he shuts the door, and he puts the chain on the door, okay? Then the camera moves, they're having a conversation. And then that's when he attacks her, and the camera moves back to the door, and the chain is no longer on the door, it's just hanging down. That's a movie goof that they did there. So that tells me at some point, they cut that scene, or they stopped, the scene when they were making it, and then came back to it. And when they came back to it, they didn't put the chain back on the door. But that happens. It was a really good movie. Let's see here. The Last of the Starks, the 4th episode, Game of Thrones' 8th and final season. Our heroes have gathered for a celebration. Maybe they went back in time and edited all copies. That would cost some money. If I invented a time machine, my first job would be to fix all my mistakes, yeah. If I remember right, it was on screen for about 1 to 2 seconds in a sweeping camera shot. Oh yeah, boom mic shadows are everywhere, yeah. It happens. Alright, let's heal him real quick. He gets hit a lot. I think we went the wrong way. We're fighting Kraken again. We went the wrong way. Oh, he casts lightning too, huh? Now she's hitting hard. sounds like it's thundering outside. I think we're about to have another storm. All right. We know not to go upstairs. That wasn't very effective. No! I keep forgetting that they got flee. I do it all the time. Thanks for the information. Lots of boom mic shadows or other things that I'll have to look at. Lots of boom mic shadows or other things that I'll have to look for. Well, that wasn't actually bad for being a weapon. Missed the stairs. Oh, this must be the right direction if we're fighting Tiamat. Okay, item. Really, it's not just him that needs it. Did you make your entire group use Masamune yet? I had to do something a few minutes ago. I had the master try it, and he hit hard, but he didn't hit as many times. And I was thinking he probably is better with no weapon. And so I ended up giving it to the white mage, because I figured Nina is probably going to use her black magic more, whereas the white mage is only going to heal sometimes. So I figured it would make more sense. Speaking of which, I think we're going to go ahead and have her attack. Not bad for a boss. Not bad for not using the giant gloves and haste and whatnot. Probably did. Yep. All right. There should be only one boss left. Oh, which way to go? Oh, let's see. Up, maybe? Oh. Okay. That might be a room right there. There we go. This is probably where the final confrontation is going to be. All right, here we go. Do you remember me? I was once known as a Knight of Cornelian. "2,000 years from now, you killed me. I am Garland." "Oh, you did defeat me then. But the four great forces saved me by sending me back through time. Once here, I sent the four fiends into the future, where they shall once again use the four great forces to send me into the past. In 2,000 years, I will remember none of this. Time, it's a very confusing thing, isn't it? But I will be reborn again here. So even as you die again and again, I shall return, born again into the endless cycle that I have created. We're not going to make jokes about his appearance. He actually does remind me a little bit, appearance-wise, Dragon Warrior or Dragon Quest IV. You come across two enemies that look similar, and then one evolves a little bit. But you have S-Turk and Necrosari have a similar image to this. And eventually we'll get to the Dragon Quest series, and then I'll point it out. All right, Chaos. It's time that you die. Alright, he's gonna use magic. Pretty strong blaze. Stronger than the other guy's blaze. Oh, tsunami. It's a good thing that we're healing. Ouch. How about some flare? 28 hit. I might do another heal. Swords, hammer, judgment staff, and rune staff are great choices to use as items. They never deplete and never disappear. Yes. Whereas there are some games, if you use, like at Final Fantasy VI, if you use the fire rod or the fire shield, it was gone after you used it. There are lots of choices, yeah. Ouch! Might be smart just to keep healing. That shouldn't work. Good. Why not? Let's try holy. Could have been better, but 300 is not too bad. Shame we don't learn that spell. I'd had fun knocking enemies on their faces. Ooh, 2,300. Hopefully white mage a good chance, yeah. Ah, only 242. Alright, we're gonna put her back on healing. I just want to see how she do with the Matsumune. Of course you would kill him. Partially my own fault. I should have kept her on healing. Ah, I think we got him. And I might be alive with one point, but I think I did most of the damage. 2,000 hits. The time loop was severed at last. The endless struggle that raged over 2,000 years had ended, and peace prevailed once more. The light of the four crystals restored the forces of wind, water, earth, and fire. It was a mere trick of fate that had given rise to the chain of Garland's wrath. But magnified by the four forces meant to guide our world. That trick of fate also gave birth to the fiends. Monsters ran rampant, and the world sank into darkness. But all that is now past. With the four forces flowing as they were meant, the warriors prepared to cross time and return to the world they knew, a world where Princess Sarah, Queen Jane, and even Garland himself await. When was this fateful day that sent time spiraling into a loop? None can say. Seemed a cycle into which time had fallen would last forever. But the bravery of four young travelers changed that. They took the forces that filled the world with darkness and used them to bathe the world in light. None will ever recall the struggle the four endured. For the breaking of the chain means that it never existed. But within the tales of fantasy that people tell, the memory of their deeds lives on. Tales of dwarves and elves, dragons and shining civilizations that reached for the heavens even as they fell. And now their return is upon us. With the memory of their struggle buried deep in their hearts, they will quietly watch over our world. Remember always that the forces of the world must be used as they were intended, that the power of light must never be used for dark, and that the true crystals reside in your heart. For you are the warrior who crossed time. You are the bringer of light. And now we're going to travel through space. All right, so we finished Final Fantasy. Yay! We're going to move on to Final Fantasy 2 next week. We don't have enough time to start a new stream now. It's almost 12. So we'll start Final Fantasy 2 next week. It would be on Wednesday of next week. Final Fantasy 2. If you're into Skyrim, make sure you stop by next week. Monday and Tuesday, we're going to play Skyrim. Playing Alt Mermaids. And we're heading towards. We're gonna try to beat the game. Skyrim's a lot longer than Final Fantasy is, but we'll see how we do. Check out the soundtrack option? Sure. We can check into that. I usually like to, whenever I finish a game, I like to show the credits. Whenever I start a game, I usually like to show the intro, and then, of course, the outro when we finish the game. It's a way of showing appreciation to the people who worked so hard on it, for one. Yeah, we can definitely see if they have soundtrack option. The game isn't over until the chocobo chirps. So here's the original staff. I guess that's the people who made the original one. The end. They all lived happily ever after. This is probably just repeating, I'm assuming. So we're going to hit the button. Game clear date allows you to start a new game with your bestiary intact. Best song in the game. Yeah, the prelude. Extra music player. We got the prelude. The song that was used and slightly redone throughout the series. World map. That's the music we just listened to. Kind of similar to the other one. Kind of like this one too. Bunch more. I said it once, I said it 1,000 times. I absolutely love the additional dungeons in the PSP version, Game Boy Advance version, and every other one that has them. I love them. I've had this song stuck in my head before. That's another one that's been in a lot of Final Fantasy. Eventually, I'll try to get streaming equipment. After that, I can stream Final Fantasy 1 on my Nintendo Classic Edition. I wish you the best of luck with that. I know I started off, I had one PC, one monitor, it was a cheap Logitech headset, a small little thing. Didn't have any webcam. Very basic, basically. And then over time, I added a second monitor, got a better headset. It's pretty old. I actually need to get a new one. I got a Corsair headset, but it's starting to fall apart. One of the cushion things is coming off. So I got to replace that eventually. Then I got a separate mic as well. Which, you know, depending on the volume of the game and how you set up your filters, it can sometimes pick up the game sound on it. So that's why a lot of people use headset and then a separate mic, because they'll get better sound from the separate mic, and then the sound in the headset won't come across the mic like it will your speakers. So it just depends. I haven't had too much problem with it. Streaming. Every now and then I'll get a sound that'll come across the mic. I just gotta adjust the volume of my speakers. My biggest advice or whatever I can give you about being a streamer is don't expect to be big. And I hate to say that. Don't expect to be big like some of these other big streamers. They are big because, one, obviously, you know, they're doing a good job. They're doing hard work. People enjoy them. Not taken away from that. But part of the reason why they're big today is because they started when streaming was a new thing. It wasn't as big as it is today. Also, some of them have, you know, done competitions and whatnot. Some of them were already famous, and then some, you know, started when it was a smaller thing. Now that streaming is a big thing, there's a lot of streamers out there hoping to make it big, easy money in a sense, and, well, hey, if you can make a fortune and have fun too, why not, right? Sure. But you're going to be disappointed because there's a lot of people trying to do the same thing. And the biggest issue with streaming nowadays as far as growth goes, and this is just based on my experience and what I've seen, is you have viewers and you have streamers, okay? When you have viewers, more viewers than you do streamers, then it's going to be easier for you to grow because there's more viewers to go along. But when you get to a point where there's more streamers and less viewers, then there's not enough viewers to go around. So when you sit there and you're looking at your thing and it says you have a few views or maybe none at all, and you're asked, well, what am I doing wrong? You could be doing something wrong, but there's also a really good chance that you're doing absolutely nothing wrong. It's just your possible viewers are viewing somebody else. And that's nobody's fault. It's just if they're watching somebody else, they can't watch you, can they? So, my suggestion, if you're going to stream, do it because you enjoy it. You enjoy the game, you enjoy sharing the game with other people, conversations like we've had today. In some cases, having fewer people in the chat can be a good thing, because then you can actually converse with your chat a lot easier, and it's more intimate, I guess you could say. Whereas if you got 20,000 people in your chat, it's going to be a lot harder to communicate with them. It becomes more of a, you just pick out a random conversation and people get missed. And then sometimes people get mad because you didn't notice them. I wouldn't be surprised if Valerian visits my streams in order to watch Final Fantasy on my Classic Edition. I just told you about Tom Bombadil in Lord of the Rings. Do you actually think that becoming a huge streamer is even remotely in my mind? It's not even close to what I'm thinking about. Well, that's good. I just wanted to give my 2 cents for you and whoever else is watching. I actually have the original Final Fantasy 1 on my Nintendo emulator as well. I just chose to do this one because the graphics are a little bit updated, and because I've finished the original one. This is the first time I've finished the remake. So. Now, a lot of this music goes well with streaming. The only downside is you might get a copyright flag or whatever, which, honestly, I'm surprised I didn't get as many with this game. Final Fantasy VI, I got a ton of them. This song is copyrighted. Well, I can't mute it without muting the entire game. Ah, look at all the songs. That's all we have left. Okay, so the lute is the prelude with a different sound. The end of the stream may end up muted, but at least we've found content to fill the end of the stream. Yeah. But you know, most of these songs were in the game, and they didn't copyright it, and they won't actually mute it here on YouTube like they do on Twitch. They'll just tell me I can't monetize the video. Which I can't monetize anyways until I get 1,000 subscribers and a certain number of viewers and per stream and all that mess. So we have Final Fantasy III battle music. So when we play Final Fantasy III, you're going to hear this song again. Here's 4. Yep. This is 5. Battle at the Big Bridge on 5. Made it a little rockish with that guitar. And then the last song is from Final Fantasy VI. How you like that, Valerian? I really appreciate your 2 cents. Hey, something I can afford. Everybody's got 2 cents, right? So they also have an art gallery. Where it shows different images. One of the biggest tech issues I have with streaming is performance. Performance would probably be a lot better if I had a dual PC setup. That way you can run the stream on one computer and run the game on another. I'm assuming probably would run better. The image probably wouldn't get pixelated as much. Of course, it's also internet too. Your stream quality is affected by your internet connection, and I don't have the best internet. I wish I had fiber. Game PC plus encoding PC equals win. And a lot of the bigger streamers do have a 2 PC setup. But it also adds latency, yeah. So it's that classic issue of it fixes problems, but it also creates some. And let's see, we also have the bestiary, which shows you what they look like in the game. There's Garland. Audio also rarely gets to the encoding PC at the same time as the video, so you have sync issues too. Yeah, because you're using a capture card, and it's, yeah. I know a while back I was fooling around with my capture card, which I haven't officially used it for streaming yet, but I had my Nintendo Switch hooked to it, and I think I was playing like Dragon Warrior 3 with it, and there was a big delay between my gaming screen and my OBS. I would move, and then like several seconds later, it would show up on OBS. So it's an issue you got to just deal with, I guess. But yeah, that's the end of the stream. We finished the game. Yay! Thanks for coming. If you haven't, please hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. We will be back next week, Monday, with Skyrim. We're going to be playing Skyrim Monday and Tuesday. And then Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to be playing Final Fantasy II. Just starting, since we finished 1. We're going to start 2, and then when we finish 2, we're going to go to 3. Already done 4, so we'll move to 5, and we did 6, and so forth. We'll go up the series in order from here out. And then after we're done with Final Fantasy, we'll probably move on to a few other games. I'd like to do Chrono Trigger. I'd like to do some of the Dragon Quest series, and whatever comes to mind. But thank you for coming. I hope y'all have a great day and a great weekend. We'll see you.